Today we're going to be interviewing a Dogecoin kid, Lisa from Up Worldwide. And today we have the beautiful Miss from Crypto here tonight with us. Today we have Ken Bozak.
Foundation, Rarible, OpenSea, and and Charged Particles.
Speaking from a Gen Z's perspective.
So why do these people buy this
collection? I work with an artist out of...
Wait till you see my other outfits. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Yummy NFTs. I'm your host, City Girl, and this week I have our executive producer, Jerome, here with us as well. This week is a little bit different because our guest has actually created his NFT simply for marketing purposes of his new VR venture. We'll be interviewing our Altspace friend, Stolengoods, who is actively bringing people off the streets into the metaverse with his VR pop-up shops in Virginia Beach, including his new venture, Virtual Escape VB. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to see y'all.
VR pop-up shops. I absolutely love the concept. I imagine you around on the list with the friends going, hey, this is so great. Everyone should do it. Let's take it to the streets. So how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, I mean, first off, like probably anybody that gets any of these ideas, I'm obsessed with the technology, you know what I mean? It's just like super fun. And obviously like I got hooked and like my biggest thing too that I always preach to people is like I preach alt space because like that's where I first got hooked. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't contractors or Beat Sabers or any of that type of stuff. Like I was one of the rare few people that got attached to alt space first, and that like where I got my home base. So that's why I want to make sure I come back and connect with you guys because I'd rather be here pretty much than anywhere on the actual VR system.
We appreciate the love.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what pretty much got me started was alt space. But then, I won't, lie to the VR fans that like the stuff that we do for the public is a little bit more like I would say to people like us, kind of boring. You know what I mean? It's just simple, walk through stuff, first steps, Beat Sabers, contractor tournaments, and things like that. Uh, Not as in detailed as alt spaces, and building and all that good stuff. I haven't been able to like find a way to accomplish that within my local community yet, but hopefully once we build a good community locally, I can get them funneled into alt space so we can start working.
I hear that, man.
Jerome, why don't you tell them you do something similar?
Absolutely. There's many different ways to collaborate at different events. So I want to say one of the first ones that I got honed in on was eToro was launching here in Miami. So we threw a VR party for them. So both IRL at their launch party, we had VR headsets up for display, but I also had a world set up for them in Altspace. So people in the virtual world can be able to party with us in the real world and vice versa. So that was a fun little getaway, as well as I let people travel to like Japan and see all sorts of other places that eToro is accepted at, and kind of just giving both like a moving experience, but also like a stationary. Just look at these different experiences. I'm sure you're aware that there's all sorts of other games that are more arcade style and quick little fun games. But to me, I think virtual reality is best when you have the time to really sit down and enjoy it and go through a bunch of apps, not just by yourself, but with other friends. So what's your, I guess, goals or reach in connecting people so that they're not by themselves when they check out Virtual Escape?
Well, my first I guess thoughts towards this was I'm a bartender, so I was like showing everybody the technology at work. I kept constantly putting like people of all ages into the technology, and I noticed that everybody from 65 to whatever 20 years old was very they enjoy the technology. So I was like, man, it'd be really cool if I could find a way to like show this to everybody, but like safely. And obviously the bar where I work, working bartending and running out and putting an Oculus on someone's head and everything is obviously horribly unsafe. So decided to put a model around and actually like sell the business model. So now we do that. But that's kind of like where I started with my whole process of thinking with the the getting the technology out. My main goal is to really get what it is. So honestly, so we can fill up places like this, we can fill up more places, more communities. You know, the more people, the better.
I agree.
You want to tell us a little bit about Reality Bites and your mascot Megabyte?
Definitely. So like Megabyte, we wanted to make sure that like everybody was attached to the brand in some which way. So we decided to go with the mascot Megabyte, and it's actually a local artist from Virginia Beach in my area that drew it. I use him for a lot of my art and music. You know, he drew it for us, and then from there, we wanted to keep the community locally interacting with it. So we decided to do a competition to name actual mascot. With a couple weeks of voting, we ended up selecting Megabyte because that was the most votes, and then we went from there. And so we actually have a blow up mascot that we put on during our shows, like keep people entertained and like kind of keep the brand pushing. And we obviously we do like EDM shows too, so like we keep the crowd. You know, we get in there, shark up mascot. You know, jump up in there and have fun.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So now you have converted him into an NFT at this point?
Yes, ma'am. Our manager has she's in the process of minting it, right? You know, just got to finish up.
Okay.
I'm
Is
not
there a
So you
utility
also
behind
these.
go
before we
ahead.
move on from there? I was going to ask, is there a utility to getting your NFT? When I buy your NFT, what is that? What comes along with it, or is you just have an art piece?
Yeah, so I guess I would be like we would just be selling the art piece right now currently, and we don't have it fully up and running yet. We plan to do it after this here interview. We're gonna kind of use this as promo as well, but we'd like to go ahead and probably throw about 10 of the artworks out, just a couple of them, just for our locals, and again go from there. Maybe 3 different ones. But we're actually new to the process of NFTs and crypto and whatnot.
Okay, well, welcome. We're here to help and grow both the brand and your community. I would definitely say look towards utility and like what can you get with this NFT. A lot of NFTs are just an art piece. Hey, buy my art piece. No, a lot of them it's harder to sell. But when you have like something like Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, where you buy this NFT, you're buying into this community. You now have access to our Bored Ape Yacht Club events. They literally will charter out a yacht and only members with the Bored Ape can be able to get on the boat. You know, that type of utility that, you know, holds true to your brand will definitely make people want to hold your NFT.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Love that.
So your music line too, because you're also an accomplished musician within the metaverse. So are you planning on converting some of the music stuff, your video that you just released, is that also going to be an NFT?
Yeah, we'd like to blend for sure. We definitely would like to blend as much as we possibly can. Uh, keep up, but I'm the type of dude I usually will hire somebody to do stuff like that for me. So I will probably get into that more as I keep on pushing on with that.
And how do you see, so like Jerome was just alluding to, you can actually use your NFT as access point for people who download or purchase it and can maybe have certain special access rights to some of your pop-up events. Is this something that you're planning on working into the whole program?
Yeah, that would be great. Honestly, y'all are telling me more ideas than I ever thought of. So, like, honestly, I never thought about that type of stuff. Um, to be like 1000% honest with you, as the community y'all are, it's hard, very hard to get my community to agree with virtual reality on its own. So adding crypto and NFT along with it is almost just like not worth getting into because I don't want to confuse them. Like a lot of people get confused in my area. Like I grow up, our area is mostly surfers, outside skateboarders. Constant active community, and so it's been a challenge to let people understand what we're dealing with here, because most people are saying, well, why don't I just go outside? And I'm like, don't understand. We're not trying to supplement and take away from outside. We're just trying to make things a little bit better. So if you like to play paintball, yes, playing paintball is great in real life, but it's also really cool to play paintball in a totally different arena, in a totally different space, in a totally different place, with totally different friends. So I'm having enough. I guess I would say I have enough on my plate just to describe what we already know so well. That's my biggest thing is everybody here. I love this community because we know what the future of all this is and how big it's going to be, but the world around us doesn't necessarily know that yet.
I completely can understand that. Trust me, I've been the one trying to get people both into virtual reality and crypto at the same time. So, I've been doing that for years, and I understand the struggles of, trying to break it down for people. But I see it as the same correlation, if you will, to getting into the internet, right? Try explaining to your grandma what the internet is, right? Now she probably has a lot better understanding for it for how many years she's probably been on it. But if you go back to the 1990s, it was really hard to explain to anybody really, other than computer scientists, what the internet was. Same thing with virtual reality. For the last 10 years, it's been super hard to even explain why somebody should put on a headset. Now everybody's seen
Right.
an Oculus Quest, and it's just like, oh, one of the headsets. Yeah. I've either tried it or I've always wanted to try it. Now it's like, all right, same thing with crypto. Have you ever, held an NFT? No, I don't even know what that is. All right. Have you ever bought something? Have you ever been able to verify it? You have a receipt, right? Well, instead of having a receipt that's can be thrown away or disappear or fade away or whatever, or shredded or washed, you have something that's on a digital statement, if you will, a ledger that everybody has access to. So it's not just something between you and the person that you bought it from, but everybody can validate that this is something that actually was transacted. So for your surfers, I've seen people now doing surfboards on the blockchain. So if you want to buy a one of a kind surfboard from this surfer who used this for during this time period, because he has like how many different surfboards, I see different surfers that are minting like their first board, their third board, all of those different boards that they're no longer using and stuff like that. Same thing with skaters, same thing with rollerbladers. And people are now looking at that like, ooh, I'm such a big fan of this person that, yeah, I would pay top dollar to own one of their, actual physical goods.
Right. Right.
Think of it like collector's edition, stuff like that. So there's many different ways that you can utilize NFTs. I definitely implore not just you, but the entire audience, do your own research, understand what's going on with this space, and try to, best find the ways to market it to your own audience.
Definitely. Love it. That's partly why I'm here, man. I love the knowledge. I'm here to take it in.
Oh, we got a lot to dish.
Jerome
Hit
is
us
the
with the
one to
next
give you all the
question.
knowledge that you need.
Yeah, I could sit all day and talk about that stuff.
Well, let's talk about the fact that, you're doing something similar to what Jerome is doing down in Miami. You're doing it up in Virginia Beach. How could we manufacture a little, collaboration here
Yeah,
so
man.
that you guys could have a multi-city event happening where you're bringing people into VR, he's bringing them in, and maybe there's a little bit of
Yeah.
an event that could happen there.
I would love to do
So I
something like that.
I'd say that Mondays is probably the best first one. Crypto Mondays is something that started in New York City by a guy named Lou Kerner. Shout out to Lou if he's watching this on YouTube. But he started that, and I met him at NFT NYC right before the pandemic. And I had been thinking about it for a while, so I kind of just pitched it to him to see what he'd think of Crypto Mondays VR. And we exchanged contact information, and then the pandemic happened literally the next day. Everything shut down. So then he couldn't host Crypto Mondays New York anymore. So he immediately reached out to me and was like, what were you saying about VR? So we started Crypto Mondays virtual reality right after that. And he was basically sending me everybody that he would have had on Crypto Mondays New York into Crypto Mondays VR. But after a time, the audience kind of reached out to me and was like, hey, it's cool having these CEOs come up on stage, but I don't really care. I'd really like, do something else. So I changed up the style and decided instead of having sit down interviews like this with CEOs, we do that for NFT artists, and we that's hence Yummy NFTs. And for Crypto Mondays now, it's more like R&D. If you guys have questions that you want to learn more about, different tokens, somebody jumped in one day and was asking me what's Cosmos. We did a breakdown, checked out the white paper, did some technical analysis, looked at some, charts and see how far where it's going, and looked at what's the community look like, took a look at what's the who are the founders behind it, what other projects have they worked on, just went down the real nitty-gritty rabbit hole, if you will, for the entire token, and just answering people's questions right off the bat. I love doing that, and it helps a lot of people in the space learn. A lot of new people that want to learn can look at some of the informational stuff that's around the walls, and yeah, it's a great time to connect. So if there's some venue that you can utilize on a Monday, that would definitely be a great cross collaboration to have. Crypto Mondays VR, Virginia, and Crypto Mondays VR Miami.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we might definitely figure something out like that. Certainly, definitely. I mean, right now, like we're booking up like at a lot of different clubs, a lot of different spots. I mean, I work at a bar too, so I always have like a quote unquote like location or whatever. But it's just we try to do like as best locations as we possibly can. I guess you could say bar I work at that I'm currently somewhere in Virginia Beach in a closet right now, like literally with like books and wires and stuff all around me. But I work at this bar, and you know, it's a dive bar. Long story short, so we don't do a whole lot of stuff here. But the other bars we work with are more like Miami, I guess, style or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, Virginia Beach is way down here when it comes to like clubs compared to like Miami type of stuff.
That actually might be for the better. I
Gotta
think
start somewhere.
doing the club events, like parties and stuff like that, are great for like the weekends. Whereas Mondays, people are, more stimulated, mentally stimulated, and want to have a deeper
Right.
conversation about crypto rather than a quick little, all right, let me ask a question and then go dance. So if you can find a place that's even quieter and
Yeah.
cool to have drinks, but having the open space for people to talk both in the real world, maybe watch on screen, as well as put on the headset and be able to jump in and ask questions. That's what I've been doing. I found a venue near me. It's just that it's sometimes really loud and the connection's really spotty. So lately
Mhm.
I've been coming back to my place to host Crypto Mondays, but I'm going to keep looking to find me a venue where it's not so loud and people can be able to talk both in the IRL as well as jump into VR, hear everybody, connect with people, and BYO VR, bring their own headset and have a good time.
Yeah, man, we can definitely talk more on that. How we can help each other with that. Certainly, I can definitely figure something out.
Awesome. Another one I would say is also Fridays, where I do game nights. That's been like a every other Friday night thing for me now. There's a venue over here in Miami called Purple Palms Bodega. If you guys are watching this and you're in Miami, come join us. Next one's May 27th. Little side out, but yeah. So with game night, we play different games together. So like you're saying, Contractors, Beat Sabers, all those games that are like multiplayer. All of my friends bring their headsets and we kind of play with each other and whatnot. But I also would love to be able to have kind of like a game league going on here in alt space. So if you guys are
Heck yeah.
gamers, you guys want to join up and play Zenith, some of us, or play some of these other games that we got, Blast On, some of those type of games, I would love to be able to meet up in here, put up a live stream for anybody that can't, join, doesn't have the game or anything like that. You could still watch, but then we could be both in Virginia and in Miami playing with each other and basically a clan, if you will.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I love that. It'd be super cool.
My 2 cents. Next question.
No, you guys are good. I love that you're playing off of each other and you're able to kind of put some ideas into, Goods is getting started with this and, you've kind of been doing it for a little bit, Jerome, but it's I've been watching your social media posts and I've been watching how, you've got some people coming into the bar where you're at or wherever and I'm seeing the pictures of the headsets and them going, but you're also I see a lot of you getting sponsors. So how are you
Yeah.
getting your sponsors
we
for
got
this,
like
and what are you actually
a
doing
lot of
with that?
different right now where we're at, it's very scattered as far as like we haven't found like an exact target of where our revenue is coming from. So we're kind of doing a lot of different things. The virtual gamer league is one of the things we're doing in our area where we have like a big place, field house. It's like a large place where it holds like a bunch of football fields indoors. And so we rented one of the football fields with the plexiglass around it, and we have haptic vests and extensions with the recoil on your shoulder for the contractors, and basically we're introducing these type of style of tournaments into our area with cash prizes. The sponsors is so that we can pay the entire year off. You know, we pay 12 months up front, so that way we can have 12 chances, 12 months to really make this thing pop. And then got Hooters as our main sponsors. So they're bringing out girls to do the whole like sleek, sexy thing, sign autographs and all that good stuff. It's definitely not a kids event. I know, you know, Oculus people are strong against kids, you know, like, uh, but it definitely will not be a kid event. You know, it will definitely be there'll be alcohol served and things like that. But keep in mind, this is in like a family-friendly stadium arena where there is kids down everywhere, so it's not like people are like rage on VR. You know, people will not be drunk or anything, but it will be like a sports type of arena vibe. And we also like, you know, we do a little bit of everything. So we do the clubs, we did EDM shows. So we got lucky and linked in with promoters that put on major shows all the way from Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC, and Virginia Beach. And it's called Steve's Promo. Pretty big. And they put on like up to 2,000 people shows, you know, large festivals of people that are all EDM. And so we kind of mesh with them perfectly. And what they do is they pay us a large sum and lump sum up front, and so that way we can give free entertainment to the customers. So that way it's like we just pull up and let everybody have fun, really, instead of having to worry about, you know, charging everybody individually or anything like that. We're also working with some baseball places around the area, batting cages, and introducing VR baseball into the batting cages. Uh, Virtual fighting. There's a tournament around here that we've been dealing with. They do the fighting, but we bring the virtual reality to their fights. So like the boxers get off the arena and get to, you know, box it out and try it out. We've gotten a lot of good feedback with every sport, everybody we've interacted, every profession or whatever you want to say. Like everybody says, "Wow, this is legit training. This is legit stuff." You know, boxers are like, "Yo, this is something I would use to train with." The baseball players are like, "Yo, this is something that I would use every day to train with." You know, so um, it's just people really like they can't like if they're watching this, they're gonna see this and they're gonna say, "Oh, this the graphics aren't all that great" or whatever. People just don't understand until they put on that headset and they understand that like if the graphics are bad, then you are bad graphics. You know, like that's you don't think twice about it. You're like, I am this. You know, like, so I've just had to put the headset on a lot of hands. You know, I mean a lot of heads.
Now, despite the fact that the area that you're in is not really as VR comfortable as some of the other areas of the country, do you feel like that a lot of people are definitely jumping in and embracing it openly?
Certainly, definitely, yeah. We like I always joke with people. It's like 9 out of 10. If you put the headset on, you're not gonna diss it. You know, you're not gonna turn it down or say anything bad about it. You know, the only complaints we every now and then get is like, you know, motion sickness, which anybody long enough knows that's just a small step that you can easily get through. With you know, I always estimate like about 12 hours total gameplay. You know, you come back and forth the hour here, hour there. Next thing you know, you're good. You know,
Doesn't even take
but little
hours really. It just depends on
like
the
I was about to
experience
say,
you start them off with. Like
Right.
I usually, like you said, start with like the first steps game. Oh, you've never tried VR? Have you ever gotten motion sickness? Have you ever gotten sickness on a boat? All right, let's start you off with first steps. Like I've had a lot of people
right.
that go, "Oh, I want to play like, you know, a shooting game. Have you ever tried VR? No? Okay, you should not start with a shooting game." I had somebody ask me that they wanted to play a roller coaster game, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I will absolutely not do that to you. You're gonna puke. Don't do
Yeah,
that."
I still can't do that. You know, like it's
You
crazy.
know?
I get extremely car sick, and this over here though, again, she can't do alt space without the you know without the blinders on and stuff. She gets motion sickness. And I'm like, dude, come on, man, you've been doing this for too long. You know, like so it's like everybody's different, you know. But I
But
would
there are
live on here if I
definitely some
could.
things built into it to help with that. So, that there's, they recognize that that can be an issue for some people, and you just take the, settings and adjust them until you get comfortable.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's another thing people don't always think of is like how customizable the headsets are and the whole system. far as like you can never just get on a game and be like, oh, that's how it is. You got to change some settings. You got to make things comfortable for yourself. And same with headset. Once you get things comfortable, it's like should feel like like just a hat, or something regular.
Definitely. So you yourself are, you've been in here in alt space for quite a while. And what else are you doing here in alt space? And what do you see yourself doing within alt space to help promote more of this in your real life?
Yeah, so as far as that goes, like I'm definitely not a super alt space person, like celebrity in alt space, but I just like really I enjoy social interaction. So I really like to talk. If you can't tell, then so I just like to come out of the campfire, talk to people, like watch people, like learn what they're doing, watch their screens when they're on Unity and stuff like that. And one thing like about me is like I'm a super busy person, like all the time in real life too. So I know that like realistically, I'm not going to be able to do big things in alt space, but I want to make sure that I always keep a connection with alt space to where like somebody like him and you, I can funnel my real life people into my alt space life. But like that way, basically, I can keep people like y'all employed. I can pay y'all to do services to help my people in the real world, so we can keep a constant community flowing. For instance, like, I have goals of bringing artists into the alt space world, and helping them do that. But in order to do that, I mean, I don't want to build them worlds. I don't want to set them up events. I don't want to do this stuff. This is something that I would, find somebody to outsource and be like, hey, I know people that are really good at this type of thing. I can send you right to the right people. And then that's where everybody wins. And ultimately that's kind of like I think what everybody's going for in their own different angles. Everybody has music, business, technology, whatever it happens to be. That's another reason why I separate alt space. I don't know if anybody here is on community boards on Facebook. Brutal. Anybody's on there, it is brutal. But I always stick up for alt space very hard. I get bashed constantly for it, but it's like everybody loves VR chat. We know I'm not gonna down any other apps, but we'll say one thing about alt space. The majority of people that are looking to progress and move forward seem to go to alt space. People that are not staying stagnant, people that like to have dreams, that want to do big things within the whole community of VR. I believe they somewhat end up here in alt space VR. So that's why I come back to alt space VR, because I never deal with kids here. I never deal with a whole lot of BS. I get a lot of like-minded people, and I just don't really get that somewhat in other places.
Agree with you
So
there.
yay alt space.
Definitely. We love it. Love
But I'm
alt
just more of a
space.
spokesperson. I'm just putting on. I'm nothing special in here. I just really like tell people about it. I really love it. I think it's a special thing.
Your actual pop-up shop events that you've done, how many of these do you think you've done at this point?
We officially opened up business April 20th. Officially, that was my birthday, and that was so I wanted to do like the birth of the business and whatnot. So we since April 20th, we've only been open about a month. So it's been
Uh,
that going to 12. We're already exclusively like signed up with a couple of clubs to be there every single weekend. So like right now
nice.
at Peabody's, we're solid every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, constantly. So from there, we just add more and more clubs and just continue. And the other stuff is more like parties, weddings, etc., like all that. But we definitely have already locked in multiple stuff where we're constantly there, till they kick us out.
Sounds good. Jerome, do you have any other questions for him regarding?
What do you do in regards to like people sweating and makeup? Have you thought of a game plan around that?
Yeah, so currently right now we keep like what are they called, the wipes, the disinfectant wipes, and we wipe off directly after use and whatnot. We have not the furry original ones, but the nice the second ones that are like, I don't know why anybody uses those, by the way.
A
I'm just gonna
pleather?
shout y'all out. Because I have a few people that just don't mind using those, like that I know personally, and I'm like, yo, you are crazy. I can't, it's so like itchy. But yeah, I use the nice like smooth one, but we wipe those down, and then we also have these like white things that you put on your face like a little raccoon mask or something like that, almost, and you put those over as well. That's currently all we have right now to help. Luckily, COVID is kind of dying down, so we don't get as many complaints about that type of thing. But I could definitely, that is definitely something a lot of people commented about, like on the message boards of Oculus and stuff like that, how they would not want to share and things like that. And I totally get it.
Understood. So let me ask you a question, just kind of circling back to NFTs for the show. So obviously you've got Megabyte as your NFT. Do you see yourself with anything else in the future of the NFT front?
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't normally speak about things I'm not very confident about, so I can't confidently say, I'm definitely coming out with lots more NFTs. I would love to put as many NFTs as I possibly could out. But to be 1,000% honest, I was having problems minting this NFT. So this is something that I would definitely talk more with y'all about trying to further that process. Ultimately, I'm a businessman, so like whatever makes money, I'm trying to get as much as I possibly can of it. So that's the wave right now. Everybody's kind of into it. That kind of crypto is a little on the fritz right now, but I'm sure that'll even its way out.
All markets are on the fritz right now. It's not just crypto, it's the entire
Facts,
stock market, everything right now. So,
of course, and it's a game. You got to play it, baby.
absolutely.
It's actually the
Gotta
best
ride it
time
out.
though, man. While the market's kind of on the fritz and
Right.
everything's down, this is the time to be
This is when you buy it.
accumulating and
Cheap.
hodling because it will come back and it will be more expensive. So why not
Most
get it while
definitely.
it's lower, right?
Most
Absolutely.
definitely. But I did pre-COVID. As soon as COVID hit, I was like, everything's coming back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's gonna really go away forever.
Yeah, I've been in since 2018. So leading up to COVID was great. I want to say, yeah, leading up to COVID, and I think it was like Valentine's Day. I remember that day vividly because I was, man, if I had a gold, that would have been fine. And everything came crashing down. Then we came back up again, and then it was COVID, and we came crashing down again. And again, I'm like, damn, all I had to do was sell a little bit, and I'd have been able to buy more when it dropped down to the bottom. Now we're down at the bottom, or then we hit like 60K in like, I don't know, November. And again, it's like, damn, I wish I had sold a little bit, just a little bit, so I could be able to buy some more when it's down at the bottom. But hey, man, to each their own. I'm just hodling,
For
man.
sure.
Hold. Just keep holding.
For
It'll
sure.
come back. I've just been accumulating over and over for the last 3-4 years.
Just a funny thing, real quick. Just VR is so funny. It's like literally, like I said, I'm in a closet. I asked my cook to cover the bar, my patrons, while I'm literally in a closet doing an interview with you guys. There's people getting served right now for the last hour, just like probably not knowing anything of what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like everything's probably going to hell outside, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm in here in the VR world right now. Like no one has any clue about any of this type of stuff either. So like trying to explain to them that I'm sitting here in an interview, it just would not comprehend.
Well, we appreciate
So
you for coming through while you're working.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We definitely appreciate that.
For sure, dude.
So we'll try to wrap this up pretty quick for you then, so you can get back to
Yeah.
work. But we'd like to open up the floor real quick. If there's anybody who has any questions to ask of Good, that please,
move away from that
you can
chair.
click on the raise hand button on the right hand side, and you can also rate the event. If you click at the "You Are Here," you can click that and then click rate the event. And please, we strive for 5 to keep the events alive. So, and you can, if anyone has a question, please click the button right now.
Sweet. Gets crickets.
Nobody ever wants to be the first person to ask a
I
question.
know. I hate that. I don't want to be that either. I didn't want to be the dude sitting up here in front of everybody.
Well, if there's no questions, we don't want to hold you too long. We know you're literally sitting in a closet right now, which is kind of humorous. Um, if there are no questions, then we really want to thank you for coming out tonight and talking with us and explaining what it is that you're doing in Virginia Beach, and hopefully you and Jerome could hook something up where you could do a multi-city event. Would be amazing.
No question. I mean, if we don't do it, I would be upset. Got to.
Great, we'll have to
And
hook
deal.
that up.
May 27th. Virtual reality in Miami and Virginia Beach. Let's go.
There you go.
Let's go.
Put it on it.
Nice.
Virtual pound on it.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you very much tonight and this episode, and we will have you back next Tuesday night for Yummy NFTs. And right now, if we could get everybody up on the stage, we like to do our end of episode. We do a big group shot of everybody.
Whoa. Come on up, y'all. Say goodbye, stream. For watching, you guys.